What up guys, welcome back to the channel. You already know what it is, it's round time for Wrench-a-holics, and today we got something really small to do on the 240. We are actually going to be installing the GS-100A brake strobe light controller. So what that does is it gives like a pre-warning and then holds the brake light solid. So if you ever notice that if you're driving, you see some of the third light brake indicators, how they do like a cadence where it's like 3 flashes and then it stops at a fully illuminated brake. It's more like a warning system. I thought it was pretty cool, so we're gonna go ahead and do that on 240, but we are not gonna be doing it on the third brake light. We're actually gonna be doing it on the fog light on the bottom. So I can show you what it looks like when we're all finished up. Let's get to it. Alright guys, so this is the control module, the GS-100A. This one allows you to control your third brake light so that it strobes in a certain fashion, in a cadence, and then stay on like a traditional style third brake light. The strobe effect in the beginning of the cadence, pretty much it's like a pre-warning so that people know that you're about to stop. Obviously, it'll grab the attention of the driver behind you so that they can obviously know that, you know, there's something about to happen. Pretty much you're about to stop. You can use this module to control either your OEM third brake light, or like I said before in the beginning of the video, if you did the F1 fog light, the little triangular piece, which I'll show you. Alright, so if you did this mod right here and you added this little triangular F1 style fog light, you can actually have this run the cadence by using that controller. This one has 2 functions. It just depends on how you wire it. The first function is if you were to turn on your headlights and you wire it that way, that will stay solid on, so that, you know, it's like a fog light, rear fog light, what they call it. Or if you hook it up to your brake lights, it'll turn on only when you hit the brakes, so it acts like a third brake light. Well, it would be 4 now if you were if you have the OEM one on the back of the car. So then you have the OEM one, you have your 2 in the tail lights, and then you have your 4th one, which is this one. Then you would have 4 brake lights. Just another way to signify that you're about to stop. Or you hook it up to this strobe effect. The only reason why I don't like that strobe effect is because this thing will consistently just blink. So if I can grab that on camera, I'll probably put you on the tripod, I'll hit the brakes, and I'll show you what that does. It's pretty much annoying. It just blinks like crazy and it doesn't stop. To me, I find it annoying. It's, you know, it's something that I'm just like, what the hell, it just keeps blinking. But let me throw you on the tripod and show you exactly what I mean. Where's my keys? Alright. Alright, so now the way how I have this hooked up is that when I turn on my headlights, it's a solid on. So pretty much I'm using it as a rear fog light. So just another light indicator to know that, you know, there's a car right in front of you. But yeah, so right now that is the constant on, depending on how you hook it up, function, so that it'll stay on like that. If you hooked it up to the brakes, what it'll do is it'll only light up when the brakes light up. So it could be like, again, a brake light indicator. But this is the function that I hate, and I'm hoping I can catch it on camera. I'm gonna hit the brakes, and you'll see that this thing just blinks like crazy. 1 second. That will consistently continue to blink as long as I'm hitting the brakes. And to me, that's kind of stupid and I hate it. So we're gonna put this cadence on. It'll do this certain cadence, and then it'll stay on like a brake light. Alright, so now that you saw it blinking, we're going to change that. So instead of it consistently blinking, what we're going to do is we're going to add on this module. What that guy's going to do is going to have a slow 3 blinks and a constant on. So as if to signify that you are preparing to stop. What you're going to do is connect the wires. Obviously you can see it's 4. It's super simple. The main thing is that there's an in and an out. And basically what you're going to do is the inside part of the module is going to go hook up to the wiring on your car, and then the out wiring is going to go hook up to whatever light that you want to have that cadence function. So pretty much in is from the wire harness from the car, out is to your third brake light or that triangular F1 fog light, whichever. You can even put on your tail lights if you choose to, but that's pretty much how you're gonna wire it up. So we're gonna go to the trunk and we're gonna wire that bad boy up, and hopefully that thing should work the way how I want it to. So let's get to it. Alright, first things first, you gotta get access to the harness. Obviously we'll be working in the back, so I have the harness to the brake light here in the trunk area. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna go into the trunk. Alright. Show you what I did here. Alright, kind of dark, so let me flash a light in there. Alright, so there you have it. There's 3 wires. There's a blue, green, and red. I don't know if you can see it too well on the camera, but those are the wires that connect to that fog light on the back of the car. Based on what I remember, that blue wire is connected to ground because it's connected to the chassis. And I forget which one's connected to the brake light. It's either the red or the green. I'm pretty sure the red is just the constant power, and the green is the blink function. So I'm gonna go ahead and just disconnect and see which one works, and we'll go from there. Alright, one more thing before we start. If this is your first time messing with electronics in your car, or you guys are avid electricians, you guys already know that disconnecting the battery before you do any work on anything electrical in the car is a must. Work safe. Yeah, just want to say that just in case if you guys are planning on doing this and it's the first time you guys ever mess with anything electronic wise on your car, always disconnect your battery before you start hacking up the harness, just so that you can prevent any type of like spark or arc or anything that could potentially burn down your car, because you don't want that. So disconnect the battery and then get to work. Just want to let you guys know. Alright, yeah, and so you guys don't dog me on that wiring, I have this Tesa tape right here. It's electrical tape. It's kind of made out of fabric. Most European cars use this, like Mercedes, BMWs. If you notice that they have this type of cloth type tape around the wiring harness, it's called Tesa tape. So we're going to use that guy to fix up that harness so that you guys don't dog me on it, because it looks kind of like ass. But we're gonna do this once I get done with everything, because I'm gonna have to redo it anyway. And we're gonna be using obviously some wire connectors, some butt connectors, and some heat wrap to make sure everything's cool. So if you guys ever work on car electronics, I highly suggest you getting one of these organizers. You know, it's really meant for like fishing, but hey, whatever keeps everything legit so that you know where to go to. Do what you gotta do. I used to always hate having these lying in my toolbox and everything is just a mess. So as a tip, if you can get one of these little you know, fishing organizer deals, it works great for electronics. As you can see, super easy to find what you need to find. You know, you got your fuses here, you got connectors, heat wrap, whatever it may be, butt connectors, you know, you got like these quick connects right here, whatever, just organized so you can work efficiently. So we're going to be using, I don't know, probably like these butt connectors here with a heat wrap on it, or probably these butt connectors and then throw some heat wrap on it. And then we're going to hit it up with some Tesa tape to make it look legit. But first we're going to hook it up, make sure everything works, and then go from there. So here it is. That's what we're going to put on. Let's get to it. Alright, so I think my plan is I'm going to switch it around. So right now I have that blinking function on that F1 style rear brake light. I have that function connected to the brake light. So what I will do is I'm going to flip it. So I'm going to put that signal wire to the rear reverse indicator. So when those lights get turned on, that thing will go crazy, and I feel like that's pretty cool. So we're just going to go ahead and move the wire from here to up there. And we should be good to go. And then what I will do is I will disconnect the constant power and I will hook that up to the module. So then now when I hit the brake light, when this one's hooked up to the brakes, that will turn on and do its function. Alright, so this here is the harness plug for the rear tail light holder. We're basically using these wires to figure out which connects to the chassis harness for that guy. That right there is my reverse light. So pretty much we're tracking down this red and blue, you can't really tell, but it's red and blue wire with a tracer. We're tracking that down. it's right there, and then basically I'm using this to show me what pinout is on the other end of the connector. So I already found it. So now what we're going to do is basically take the green wire, which was the blink function, and we're going to go ahead and tap that into that wire on the chassis side, so that now whenever the chassis gets activated, when I put the car in reverse, the light turns on, and it also triggers the flashing light on the F1 fog over there, F1 brake light you want to call it. So we tap that in, and then we got a couple more wires to go, and we should be good to go. Alright, so this is the harness for the tail lights. So this is the chassis harness. The red and the green one controls your brake light, and the green and white control your reverse. So pretty much the green and white is what's tapped into my F1 rear brake light that does the strobe function, and the red and green is going to tap into the inside portion of the strobe. So basically we're just going to tap that wire and put it here, and then these two will connect directly to the F1 light. So once I have that hooked up, I'll show you how it works. Everything is wired up, so I'm going to go ahead and turn on the car, and I'm going to go through the reverse indicator, the brake light, just to show you the function that I was trying to look for with everything hooked up. So I'm going to go ahead and just turn on the car, excuse the noise, and then I'm just going to show you how the light functions. Alright guys, there you have it. We are all done with the install. I hope it was pretty simple. Just remember, if you're working on anything electrical in your car, it doesn't matter what car you drive, you always want to make sure you disconnect the battery, just because you don't want to ground out anything, especially if you're not really proficient in wiring. So it's always smart to disconnect the battery. I disconnect both ends. Some people just disconnect the ground, and you know, that way, but I always disconnect both terminals just cause I like to work safe. So yeah, so I hope you learned something. It's a pretty cool controller. It's a nice little addition to your car. It is, I will leave a link in the descriptions on where I bought it. So again, it's the GS-100A brake strobe light, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, as always, hype is for the moment and style is forever. Deuces.